I can imagine someone dying alone in a hospital, right? All these bags of bodies and everyone like the front line working so hard and so tired. We're so grateful for them, of course. But then, of course I see all this. Then I try to push myself to focus on different things at the same time. It's not that I'm trying to ignore, I'm just trying to stay sane, right? Like, I'm also human. I can't just go and destroy all my, spirituality. I have faith. And then, okay, I look into my family is healthy, my team is healthy. I receive pictures of my team member of their kids and I feel happy about it. And I try to push myself to start focusing on that. Okay, science is advancing. There is treatment right now, right? Some that is reducing the time of the disease. Okay, it's a light at the end of the tunnel. Anything that gives me optimistic. If we're not optimistic, the alternative is being pessimistic and sad. And that's not gonna help. That's gonna make it even worse than what it is. Hello everyone, this is Inspired Tuesday, the weekly vlog that I started to add value to my team at Icon Dental Center, and I decided to share it with you and hope to add value to you too. So since the coronavirus pandemic, I changed the format of this vlog because I've been receiving so many questions on the subject. So I decided to use this platform in here to, connect with you and answer your questions. So I'm doing it. I'm answering 3 questions. I start with 2, then I bring a quote, and then 1 more question. I do it in a comprehensive way so I can try to answer as many of your questions in each of the questions that I bring up. So I hope today the answers are gonna add value to you and it's gonna be helpful. Okay. Question number 1 is, how can I stay optimistic in the middle of this pandemic? Okay, I have seen this question before and I probably have answered in different ways, but it's always like, I receive this question so often that I think it's worth even repeating in a different perspective, just, to make a point in a different way. So the way I'm gonna answer this is like, what is the alternative, right? If we're not optimistic, the alternative is being pessimistic and sad. And that's not gonna help. That's gonna make it even worse than what it is. Don't get me wrong. This is very sad. It's not that I'm blind at all. It's extremely sad. It's unprecedented. I don't even have words to even explain on. I can imagine someone dying alone in a hospital, right? All these bags of bodies and, everyone like the front line working so hard and so tired. We're so grateful for them, of course. But then, of course I see all this. Then I try to push myself to focus on different things at the same time. It's not that I'm trying to ignore, I'm just trying to stay sane, right? Like, I'm also human. I can't just go and destroy all my, spirituality. I have faith. And then, okay, I look into my family is healthy, my team is healthy. I receive pictures of my team member of their kids and I feel happy about it. And I try to push myself to start focusing on that. Okay, science is advancing. There is treatment right now, right? Some that is reducing the time of the disease. Okay, it's a light at the end of the tunnel. Anything that gives me optimistic, that get me optimistic, and hope for a vaccine in January. That's great. I'm extremely happy about it. Humanity had been through a lot of there were, natural disasters, all these things, and humans stay resilient and they adapt and they change. And this is what I try to focus. This is what gets me to stay optimistic. This is what helps me. It's going right into gratitude. Of course, I'm not ignoring what I see, but I focus on gratitude. Okay, I see all this. Yes, of course, I get emotional and it touches me and I pray and I try to lift myself again because I'm just human too, right? I cannot break it. It's not going to help for me to go into pessimism and depression. That's not going to help. It's going to make the situation even worse. as being a leader, a mom, people are gonna need to rely on a strong, optimistic leader because they're gonna feed off your optimism. Your family's gonna feed on your optimism, your kids, your team, and it's very important to stay optimistic. Thankfully, this is how my personality, this is how I'm wired, so it helps. But for you, it helps if you can push yourself to do that, because it doesn't matter how you wired, seeing all this negativity can push you to go the other way. So, okay, stay optimistic and use that trick. Go into gratitude. That's question number 1. Question number 2 is, how are you going to adjust to the new normal? Okay, for me, the new normal, like going back to work, it's gonna be going back to dentistry. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about dentistry, but you can relate, because I'm gonna talk in a way that you can relate to any career that you are going to go back to, or you're waiting to go back to, right? Because we go back in stages, at least in here in the United States. Every state they have their own guidelines, the way they're going back, as long as it's very safe. All I'm thinking in here, regardless of what it is, the guideline, as business leaders, as leaders in the community, entrepreneurs, team that we have that rely on us, doesn't matter what it is, you're gonna have to be safe. You're gonna have to find ways to go back safe. So let me talk a little bit in here about dentistry, right? In 1970 to 1980, dentistry was being done in bare hands. They didn't used to wear gloves. Dentists didn't used to wear gloves or masks. And then when HIV came in, right, years later, OSHA and CDC came up with the guidelines of the dentists to wear gloves and then masks. Of course, at that time, a lot of dentists were like, we are responsible professionals. We don't need that. They fought a little bit because it's hard to change. The new normal is always hard because it's a change, right? But right now, can you even imagine going to a dentist that doesn't wear gloves? And not even in my mind, right? It's impossible to even think about it. So now, the new normal, it's gonna be, right? Because there is an airborne virus, there are the regular mask is not gonna work, right? So we're gonna have to work in N95, and that's gonna be the new normal. We're gonna have to adjust. Okay, it's harder, it's not harder. It's like, as much as it's hard, even when we're in dental school, we start using gloves, to touch instruments. It's so hard at first. Like right now, I can totally feel anything with the gloves. Like first you lose your touch, but then you adjust. Right? We're gonna have to adjust to the N95. And I'm sure like the front desk didn't used to have that screen for the sneeze protector. Now they're gonna have it. It's probably gonna be the new normal. It's gonna stay there even after the virus. I'm thinking, why not to be extra safe, right? Like cleaning the doorknobs like often. And there's a lot of the new normal that is gonna stay, and I'm sure that in any other business as well. Maybe a lot of the chefs are gonna work wearing masks. I don't know, maybe hair salons are gonna be wearing masks because they are closer to their customers. I don't know exactly what's gonna be the new normal everywhere, but I know like in dentistry, how we're doing extremely cautious to take literally like step by step to be super safe, with everything that it needs to be. And we're gonna have to adjust to our new normal. Everybody is gonna eventually, it's gonna become easier, right? It's just hard in the beginning. Later on, we end up adjusting slowly, just how it's been throughout history of humankind. This is not new that things keep changing and evolving, but it's hard. It's definitely hard at first, but we're gonna be able to adjust. I'm pretty sure everybody else will too. That's question number 2. A quote from KELLER: "Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence." Question number 3 is, are you overwhelmed with all the changes you're gonna have to go through going back to your new normal? Okay, this question came from a dentist. Thank you for the question. And I'm gonna again answer about dentistry, but it really relates to any industry or anybody else that's gonna go to any kind of new normal, going back out of quarantine, like relaxing quarantine. Again, It's not relaxing completely. We're still having all the social distancing and everything, but you know, like it's almost, we're not on lockdown anymore. We're gonna go out and slowly reopen the economy, things that is happening lately. So of course, it's a bit overwhelming, right? It's a lot of changes. I'm just human. But I have a trick that really helps me every time I start to feel a little bit of anxiety or gets overwhelmed, is I take action. Like the more I start thinking, the worse it gets. So I do something about it, right? Like I start acting towards it. So as soon as this has started to become, okay, there's a lot of information, a lot of things, I talked to my business partner and we decided together, let's go ahead and start writing down step by step on how we envision us going back. This is like way before, right? With everything that we learned, because we did a lot of classes, webinars, we read Unstoppable, because you have to be ahead, like read science and understand how this really works, so you know how you're gonna, you know, go back and be safe. We need to understand all the details on everything, and of course, right? So we started with each one in the team. How is it gonna be from the minute the patient parked the car? Who is gonna triage the patient? What's like, we even changed names, we have it all organized. What happens at the front desk? How are they safe, even handle, like even the minimal details, how you handle credit card payment, like how you touch, how you sanitize this, how you do this, how you walk, what do you do with your shoes, how do you do with your clothes at work, everything. Like it's all in a slide presentation. Then we're gonna present to the team. It's getting close, because it's getting really close for us going back. All right, it's of course here in Washington, it's already ready to go back. Actually, the only thing is, of course, the overwhelming part is this like endless war of PPE, everybody fighting for PPE, and it's kind of complicated. Thankfully, we order ours and it's coming slowly, but it's being complicated, the PPE, and can be overwhelming too, but at least we're taking action. We tried, we didn't give up. Half of the vendors don't have it, so we kept trying until we found it. So this is how I see this. Like, yes, it is overwhelming, but this is what I do. Every time a little bit of anxiety comes in or overwhelm, I start taking action to see what am I gonna do to solve the situation that I'm living. You know, as soon as I start taking action, as soon as we started to put a slide together, I started to feel better, because I'm like, okay, at least we are figuring this out. At least we're getting there, slowly but surely. So again, I hope this was helpful, the 3 questions that I answered this time. And thank you so much. Keep sending the questions and let's keep doing this. And thank you so much for your audience and for being part of this community. I really appreciate, and thank you for all the nice comments and like all the connection. It really gave me a lot of purpose during this quarantine, is to keep connecting with you. If you haven't done yet, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our pages on Facebook and Instagram at Icon Dental Center for more of these Inspire Tuesday vlogs. And until next time, my friends, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay optimistic. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.